What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Sorry about that. This is just kind of like a fun video that I wanted to do, but it's about a serious topic. Lately, we've had a lot of unrest when it comes to the police, because there have been several incidents of police brutality, some cases ending fatally, being reported in the news and on social media, which is a gift. Like, it's so good that we have social media now, because we can catch these people in the act. But don't get me wrong, this is not a police hating video at all. I support the police, the good ones out there that do their job. We need them because they help keep the structure of society, and you guys should never forget that. However, I do recognize that there are injustices that take place in the system. I was having this conversation earlier today, and if you just look at how closely, everything is tied together in the criminal justice system. Let's just say I got pulled over for a speeding ticket or a DUI. That police officer is going to be there in the courtroom just in case, he has to speak about the arrest or something of that nature. So also in that courtroom is your defense attorney and the prosecutor. So more than likely, they're having conversations. More than likely, they're friends. More than likely, your case probably isn't the first case that they've done together. And when you think about it that way, it makes sense as to why it's difficult, or why very rarely do you get justice when it comes to an officer that has broken the law. Now, to the meat of this video, we go. So, a lot of things that people forget is just like that SAE video where they were all making those racist remarks and chants. People wanted to brand that whole fraternity as a racist organization, and it wasn't the whole fraternity. It wasn't even the whole chapter. Some of the people on the bus, as a lot of people have pointed out already, weren't even singing. It was select people in that organization, so you can't blame the whole group. And that's the same for police officers. There are bad police officers, and a lot of us want to forget, because they're police officers, that they're people too. Sometimes you're going to have a bad day at work. Several of us have had bad days at work, and we've said things or done things that we regretted. The only problem is our job wasn't quite as serious as that job. So you cannot afford to have a bad day or a misstep or a lapse in judgment. But sometimes it happens. That doesn't necessarily make you a bad person. Now, in a lot of these cases that have been reported in the media, I'm not going to say they're bad people, but I will say they got away a lot of times with murder, and in many cases with criminal offenses, let's just say. But they're people. So just like you're going to have a bad teacher, or just like you're going to have a priest that might be a pedophile, you're going to have a cop that might be racist. You're going to have a cop that might be a killer, or a wife beater, or any other portion of society where you would consider that person under normal circumstances to be a scumbag. They're going to fit in there. But that doesn't make all police bad. That just makes that one officer bad. The problem that we start encountering, though, is based on that buddy system I was talking about earlier. The bad cops don't get punished for the bad things that they do, and then everybody else gets lumped into that nasty bad cop donut. And you just want to take a bite out of it, I guess. But you can't look at it that way. You need your police. I was talking to my homegirl the other day, and she told me, Mike, I'm just so tired of these police. I can't wait. I want to rise up, And I said, rise up against what? And she's like, I want to rise up against the police. And I was like, well, can't do it that way. A, because you would get your ass stomped. And B, all the police aren't bad. There's some of them that are bad. And you can never forget that. And she was talking about, running off to the mouth at the police if they pull you over, and the whole scene, from Crash, where the guy let his wife get felt up by the cop. And my question in that situation, what the hell did y'all want him to do? She said he should have tried to take the cop. And I said, you done lost your damn mind. I'm sorry. I'm siding with Mr. Howard's character on that one. He made the right call. Granted, there's no scenario where either one of you walk away feeling good from that situation. But as I learned in many of my criminal justice classes, all of us can become victims of the system at any point in time. Whether you are an upstanding citizen or you actually work for the criminal justice system, you can become a victim of it. So if you ever encounter police, make sure you have your story straight, 1. And 2, do what you need to do to make it out of that situation alive and intact. Whether they violated the law or not, you can handle that at a later date. That man has a gun. And with that gun, he has the discretion to use it if he feels his life is in danger. So there was no scenario where them getting out of that pullover ended good. But it could have ended much worse had he acted irrationally. And that's an irrational thought. Seriously? That's not how you handle that. And it really just, amazed me at how upset she was about this. She said, he was just a punk and this and that. And he needed to stand up for his pride. Pride comes before the fall. That man would have died right there in the streets. Right there. And she said, well, he needed to send a message, to speak out, to stand up for something. And I said, you don't send a message by dying right there on the street. You send a message by going through the system. And yes, it may fail you, but you still live to tell your tale. You still live to be an activist somewhere. You can go to colleges and talk about it, make enough of an uproar. But if you just die right there in the street, the only people to really tell what happened are those police officers. And we know, quite frankly, a lot of the times the police report gets fudged. Or like Dave Chappelle said, let's just sprinkle some crack on him. Live to tell that tale. Live to fight it. Speak up. A lot of us go about trying to change the system the wrong way. You can't change the system if you are dead. You can't change the system if the behavior that you exhibit in the process of trying to change it incriminates you. It makes you look bad. And that's why I always, salute Martin Luther King. I salute Malcolm X and those people. Because no matter what side of the platform they were on, they were educated on what they were talking about. And they did it in such a way to where you had no choice but to respect their opinion. You had no choice, whether you agreed with it or not. And that's the type of change I want to see. That's the type of resistance, I would like to be a part of. Granted, there is a time and place where you have to stand up and fight. Yes. Yes, there is. But right now, let's try the other route first. But that's just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think, in the comments in the description below. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this conversation that we had. Always give me feedback. Leave it in the YouTube comments. I will respond below. If you don't leave it on YouTube, I might send you something, but we're not going to have a dialogue, I promise. So, have a good night. Thank you for tuning in to Pantheon Radio. I love you guys. Excuse my slip just now. It's been late. I'm tired, but I want to pump out some videos for you guys so that you can really see where I'm at mentally and where my growth is as a person. So I want to take you guys along for this journey with me. So let's grow together. Good night.